the same field we left you at, obviously. Dad hauled the cart there, the majority of the cart in already. I wasn't expecting him to do that. So that helps out a bunch. It takes a minute for the corners to clean out. But I'm gonna get this loaded. Dad's gonna bring his truck down, swap me, haul mine in. Like I say, might have enough. I got about an hour and a half. Might have enough to get 2 loads in. We'll here shelling corn with mine, and neighbor's over there, he's shelling corn with his 6620 pushing a 4-row head. Well, not like I have a 6620, but he's got a 6620 pushing a 4-row head. Except he just went behind the hill. Be really nice now the dad's home, be able to run the cart like a cart, but unfortunately with that tall extension they got on there, on anything other than level ground, I'd be scared to try it, except the combine rocks into it. There goes my unload auger. On flat ground you can get away with it, but if there's a little bit of a roll, I'd be scared to get that stupid extension off of there and get a regular roll tarp. And he parked a little too close to the fence row. There's that 6620. I thought he had a 6-row because he plants with a 6-row, but apparently he plants 6 and picks 4. So anyhow, I get a regular, hopefully for next fall, get a regular roll tarp that's just the level of the box, and then I would have no problem unloading on the go, because you'd have more clearance than you knew what to do with. Successfully got 2 trucks hauled in. I just got back. Dad took the first one, or Dad took my truck in, and then I had 15 minutes before they closed, so I called down there. She said, yeah, bring it on down. So I got there right at 6 o'clock, but I was not the only. There was 3 other trucks sitting on the pit with me, so it's not like I was the last one. And then I think there was a guy pulling in as I was pulling out, but he was coming in and I don't know what he was doing. But anyhow, so should be able to put a pretty good hurting on this with 2 empty trucks and an empty cart tonight. get done tonight. I was kind of hoping there'd be at least one, maybe two more loads out there, but that being said, I also wasn't factoring in getting 2 loads hauled in tonight, so that helped. But I kind of lost count of how many loads I pulled off of this field, so I don't even know where we're at to give you some sort of estimate, but I will know tomorrow because we'll have it all hauled in. And I forgot to give you the yields off the last field, so I can tell you that one and that's this one at the same time. And then that means tomorrow we can get this stuff moved back to the house, service the combine, and maybe move to the next field. Maybe. We'll see how much daylight we got. Because Wednesday's kind of screwed up because Shelly got me roped into delivering 50 bales of straw, so I got to do that. So if we don't get, hopefully we get moved tomorrow night. Otherwise it'll probably be Wednesday night, maybe. So anyhow, we'll catch you guys possibly tomorrow, maybe. Okay, so this is Wednesday. We left you on Monday night. By the time I got everything, well, for starters, geez, I am not the only one that's been, well, my season's actually been pretty good. I've had one breakdown, but one of our friends, well, I'm not the only one that's had combines break. First off, one of our friends, well, before we get into that story, the important thing, so yields, the field we were at 2 videos ago down, though not the one that was broke up into the 4 or 3 small ones and the big one, the one before that one ran 184 and some change, which surprised me. And then the one that we were just at, that we just finished up here, hold on, that we just finished up here at the beginning of this video, that I didn't think was doing that great. I figured mid 160s on the high end. That one ran 180 even, which really kind of blew me away, because as long as it was taking me to get a hopper full, I didn't figure it was doing anywhere near that good. So I will take that. So anyhow, yesterday I ended up having to haul corn. Dad didn't get a chance to haul anything in during the day because like I said, I'm not the only one that's had a combine break on me. Had a friend lives over here the next town over. They have it's just over a year old. It's this is their second harvest on it, and it's a Case. I think it's a flagship, but I can't remember the model. But it's a year old, doesn't even have 4. It's got like 300 and high 300 something separator hours. That's literally, this is the second season on it, and it broke the cross auger for the clean grain exactly like this just did, right where it transitions from the auger tube into the elevator tube. It broke right there at the end of the flighting, just like this did. So they tried fixing it. It broke on them. They tried to fix it in the combine, because just like this, that combine's full of corn, but newer, bigger, better, faster, more capacity also comes with, when that clean elevator broke, now there's probably 25 bushel of grain sitting in the shoe that you got to get out of there. So they tried fixing it in the machine. That didn't work. So they brought it over to Dad yesterday, and he spent better part of the afternoon trying to fix it in the machine, to no luck. So they ended up having to take that home, and they were going to try to get all the corn cleaned out of it so they can get the auger out of it to bring it over so Dad can fix it on the bench rather than in the machine. So because he was working on that all day, he didn't get a chance to haul any corn in. So ended up having to haul corn yesterday, and by the time got all the corn hauled in, which we did finish getting all that hauled in before the elevator closed. By the time we did that, got the tractor and cart moved home, got that moved home, got it serviced, windows cleaned, checked over. I got a new bulb in my tail light, so all my lights work again. By the time we did all that, and then Shelly and I got it moved down here, it was already 9 o'clock, and I still had to go home and get the trailer hooked up and get that home, because we had that straw to deliver this afternoon, which we already got that done. Luckily, it was a short John. It was only about 10 minutes away, so that didn't take very long. So now we're here. I've just brought the cart down. Dad's gonna bring trucks when I'm ready, and hopefully this doesn't take that long. I won't get it done tonight, but should come close. 7.5 acres, all back in the woods. I'm gonna guess 4 truckloads maybe, if I'm lucky. But that being said, it's kind of deceiving, because like it's really not bad. I mean, it's nice, tall. It's actually, for where it is and what it is, it's actually some very nice looking corn. It's not bad. And this is an edgier, so it's kind of cheating, but we'll walk in for a minute. But I mean, look at this. Look at this. That's not a bad ear. That's not a bad ear at all. That's actually a heck of an ear. That's actually a really nice ear. Holy crap. This is a new hybrid from what we've been shelling. So hopefully that ear mold, it is not a cob, or that stuff that I was dealing with on that last hybrid, which was not on, it did not show up in the very first field I was in. It only showed up in the second the second 2 fields, and those were the lighter ground where it was drought stressed. But it was not an ear rot, because if you shelled the kernels off the ear or off the cob was perfect. I mean, it was hard. It wasn't, there was no rot to the cob. So it was definitely water infiltration. And it had to have been caused by drought stress and how the ear formed and how the husk formed around the ear, and the fact that the ears didn't drop, which you can see, like there's ears out here that haven't dropped. But this is also heavier dirt, and this is wetter ground. This is also a different hybrid. And I am not the only one that's at that. Well, there's been a lot of gibberella cob rot this year too. That's not what I was looking at or what I was experiencing, but there's been a lot of ear rot, ear mold, cob rot problems, to the point where the elevator actually has a dedicated bin that they have been dumping all that into, so that they can blend it off into better corn. So I was definitely for sure not the only one experiencing it, and I was definitely not the one experiencing it the worst, because Danielle, the lady that runs the scale, has been telling me so far her highest number has been 18% damage due to kernel damage. So like I say, I haven't been the only one seeing it, and I for sure haven't gotten it the worst yet. And unfortunately, like the gibberella and stuff, that could be corrected with a fungicide. But what I was seeing, that ear mold, there's literally not a damn thing you can do about it. That was 100% environmental factors that are beyond control. Holy shit. I just noticed, I think Bob drove through this ditch with the sprayer, because those are sprayer tracks. I told him this was here. He for sure drove through this with the sprayer. That had to be a jolt. But anyhow, where was I going? So hopefully, new hybrid, different dirt. Hopefully we get out of that grain quality issue. But Like I say, that was 100% an environmental factor. I could not have done anything different other than possibly hybrid selection would have been the only thing that might have made a difference. If you had a different hybrid on that field that would have handled the drought stress and that soil type differently, maybe it would have made a difference, but that's something you can't plan for. And it would have been kind of throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks as to which hybrid you chose to do it, if you even thought that was going to be a problem. So anyhow, I was going to go across the river and get that 1 acre piece real quick and come back over here, but I need to shell off some room to maneuver and park trucks and stuff, so we're going to start on this field. So I think this is 3 or 3 and 3 or 3.5. That's, I think, not quite 2. I don't know. The whole thing's about 7.5. So curious to see how it turns out. Started loading the second truck. The front, I call it the circle field, is done, and I just started. I got 2 rounds around the all the way back field. He wants me to leave a couple rows down the center of this field, so I got to figure out roughly where that is, and I'll peel some rows off around it so that I don't. But so far it seems to be doing okay for, I mean, a broken up field back in the woods. A lot better than what you would expect it to be doing. Good enough for free dirt. That's $700. You don't have to worry about the grain covering. Well, this was interesting. I was going along, all of a sudden, boom, no hydro. The charge pump belt came off. That's odd. I don't know if I got a corn stalk hung up in there just right. But luckily there's no tools required to put this back on. Kinda. I should be able to work it, otherwise I got tools in the grain truck, but I hope I can just pop it back on there and away we go. I don't see anything physically wrong with the belt, although it may not hurt to get one coming. But anyhow, got real worried there for a minute, but a belt's better than a blown hydrant. Crisis averted. Something had to have got bounced up in there just right or something, because there's the tensioner's not jumping. It's running smooth, it's running straight, near as I can tell. So that was odd, that was scary, but 2-second fix, I'll take it. Hopefully it stays on, but definitely probably gonna get another belt just in case. The cart has got a, you can't see it. The cart's got a load on it. All 3 of the fields on this side of the river are done. I just got the acre on that side of the river to do. But the stalks are, there's no breeze tonight like there has been the last several nights we've been shelling. And the dew has set and the stalks are just sopping wet. I've already had to stop once. They wrapped around the auger and plugged it, and I had to undo that. And I was trying to do it again here at the tail end, but I wanted to finish this last triangle piece up. So I'm just going to finish up that acre tomorrow when the stalks are dry. And then hopefully we can go leave here and do the little 2-acre piece of my grandma's. And then that'll probably be it for this video. But we'll just have to see how tomorrow plays out. And then Friday, we're going to have to see how the weather plays out. But either way, Friday won't be on this video. So, anyhow, I'm going to mosey back, grab the truck, and head home. So, we'll catch you guys tomorrow to finish this field up. Okay, hopefully we can get done today or this evening what I want to get done. Dad already hauled his truck in, so that's empty. There's not a whole heaping pile in the cart, so it might all fit on a truck. But either way, there's still the acre over there, and he wants me to leave 2 rows I left the 2 rows back there. That should be plenty for him. And I'm gonna leave him 2 here. He wants 2 rows in that field over there. So, but so far this hybrid, the grain quality has been 10 times better. The moistures, well, my load was 21.5. Test weight was almost 55, which for that kind of moisture is pretty darn good. Damage basically non-existent. So overall, this hybrid is a lot better. It's making a lot better grain quality. It's on wetter ground. So the field we're going to in the next video is the one all the way up north. That field's really light ground, and that didn't get nearly as much. It's like right on the line where the rain stopped, because you go a little ways north of here and they didn't hardly get any rain, and it kind of skipped, and then you go a little ways north of that and then all of a sudden they got a crap ton of rain. So there's a strip just north of here that things are not good. And that field's like right on the southern edge of that no rain strip. And it's sand ground, so I'm curious to see if that ear mold problem is going to happen up there. But it's also a different hybrid than the ones that we were shelling, but there was a problem on earlier. So anyhow, get this on the truck and get it hauled in, get the rest of it on my truck, and then my truck can be parked, and get Grandma's field on Dad's truck, hopefully, and get everything moved back to the house. And then we're going to be in a holding pattern. It's supposed to rain tonight. They're saying rain tomorrow morning. They keep taking rain in and out of Saturday and then snow Sunday, Monday. So this whole weekend's going to kind of be crap. So what we do from here is going to be weather depending. Little bit at this field. Like I said, I got to leave 2 rows here. I don't exactly know where to leave him. I don't know where he's got his stand over here, so I'm just gonna leave him up the center and call it good enough. But I left the truck over there because there's no room over here, so I'll just drive down the road to empty out. But curious to see. I mean, it's a little narrow 90-foot strip, just long enough in the woods to make an acre. The corn should not look, it shouldn't be this tall. It shouldn't be like this. So I'm curious to see how many bushels we get off of it. remember, I'm gonna call that the sacrificial acre. Apparently that's the side all the deer hang out on, which if that's the field they want to chew on, by all means chew on those and leave the big ones over here to do their thing. Because that we just went through was based, I mean, there was a little spot right here, there was a little spot all the way, but for the most part, the vast majority of the animal damage is just what we, and I am thoroughly impressed with how, because I mean, look at this ground on paper. It should not, I mean, the dirt is good dirt, but the way it's laid out in the trees and the wood, it's just, it shouldn't do that, but it did. I'm guessing somewhere around 140, which, like I say, for free dirt, none too shabby. Alright, here we are at my grandma's. This little 2-acre piece. This is the last one I want to get done tonight. It's the only one I'm going to get done tonight. There will be a bunch of deer damage up around the corner, I guarantee it. I haven't been back there, but I guarantee it. So, but I'm going to get it opened up enough for Dad to park and then let him know that I'm out here so we can get a truck out here and we'll see what we can do. So, change gears. That would help. She doesn't like combining in third. fits the field. This is all deer damage, but this is normal. Definitely not the worst corn I've ever pulled off of it. There was some deer damage, well, all the way in the back, which that's always there because that's where they hang out. There was a small little piece this side of the waterway, but compared to what they normally do, virtually non-existent. It's amazing what happens when you have a well-managed deer population, even if it takes Mother Nature, EHD, and Blue Tongue to do it. So we're gonna get the combine moved back to Mom and Dad's, and we gotta go get my truck and the 1955, move those back to Mom and Dad's, because that's gonna be the jumping off point for the next field we go to. And where we go from here, like I say, is gonna completely depend on what the weather decides to do, so out when we find out. So with that being said, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.